You're listening to Mic Drop Moments, a podcast brought to you each week with me, your host, Sandra Garlick. During the podcast, I invite guests to share their amazing stories, knowledge and top tips, including their mic drop moments, especially for you. I also share my learning and inspiration about life, business growth and visibility. I'm delighted to bring the Mic Drop Moments podcast to you each week to inspire and motivate you to achieve. Enjoy the podcast and don't forget to leave a review. Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media. Let's make this happen. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mic Drop Moments with me, Sandra Garlick. And today I'm talking all about something that's become such a huge part of my world, my business, and honestly my mission and everything else. And it's leveraging your visibility through awards. So I'm going to be talking all about awards today, but not just awards in the traditional sense, not just the trophy, not just the glamorous photos, not just the dress, the shoes, if you know me, you know what I'm on about, the stage or the celebration on the day. I want to talk about how you can leverage awards as part of your visibility strategy, because I believe that when you enter awards and when you enter them intentionally, they can completely change the way people see you and your business. They can build credibility, create opportunities, open doors to new opportunities, increase your confidence, attract clients, grow your audience, position you as the go-to expert, and help you stop hiding behind your business. Because after years of running awards, in the 11th year this year, judging awards as well, entering awards myself, sponsoring awards, hosting awards, mentoring thousands of women in business, I can honestly share that the people who get the most value from awards are not always the winners. Now that might surprise you, but often even people just entering or finalists often get more from awards than the winners themselves, because these are the people that understand how to use awards as a platform for visibility. And today I want to help you do exactly that. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions around visibility is people think it only means social media, posting online, doing reels, sharing photos of the event, going live and saying, oh, I've been to the awards, or I'm here at the awards, and just being out there. And visibility is so much deeper than that. It's about credibility. It's about positioning. It's about building reputation. And it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And awards can massively contribute towards that, because awards create authority markers. They immediately tell people, oh, this person's serious. This business is credible. This person is making a serious impact. And whether we like it or not, people make assumptions very quickly in business, but awards help shape that perception. And of course, you don't need awards to be successful, but if used strategically as part of your visibility strategy, they can absolutely accelerate visibility and opportunity for you. So let's have a think. A lot of people never enter awards because they automatically disqualify themselves before they even start. They think, oh, I'm too small. I haven't been going long enough. Or there are people far more successful than me. I probably won't win. or I don't want people to think I'm showing off. And so many women have said to me over the years, I'll enter next year. They always put off. And you think about what a whole year of visibility wasted. And I see this all the time. We minimise ourselves as women in business constantly. We're more than happy to celebrate everybody else, but we struggle to celebrate ourselves. Have you ever noticed when somebody says, oh, that's a lovely dress, you automatically go into defensive mode and say, oh, I've had it years. Or they'll say, oh, your hair looks really nice today. Oh my gosh, it needs cutting or it needs washing. We always seem to put ourselves down. And it's the same with awards. We wait until we feel good enough, whenever that may be, or successful enough, or experienced enough, or visible enough. But visibility doesn't happen after the confidence piece. Very often the confidence and feeling good enough comes after the visibility itself. So if we don't put ourselves forward for awards, we're never going to create that feeling of, yes, I am good enough. And sometimes we have to step forward, and that creates the confidence. And entering awards is one of those moments, because the process itself, especially the process I've created for my awards, forces you to recognise your own value. And I've always said about my awards, people look at the form and say, oh my God, this is huge. And it's not like any other awards entry form, because I want to give a value piece that forces you to sit down and recognise how much you've actually achieved and how good you actually are. And it's okay filling in a couple of boxes and saying why you want to win. And of course, we want to know that. But I really want you to dig deep in my awards process. And if nothing else, you've got a value piece that will help you reflect on where you've come from, where you are now, and where you're going in the future. And so many women have told me that since I've really dug down on the questions this year, that actually it's become a real value piece for them, and it's really made them think. So my awards now do have these deep, deep questions, and they're not to be completed in 10 minutes either. One of the reasons I love awards so much is because they force you to stop and reflect. And how often do we do that? Most business owners don't. We're so busy chasing the next client, managing the next launch, fixing problems in our businesses and other businesses, replying to emails, doing the admin, keeping everything moving and moving on to the next big thing. But we rarely stop and acknowledge, what have I actually achieved? And entering awards makes you do that. You have to think about your journey, your impact, your results, your challenges, your growth, your client stories, and your resilience. And honestly, that reflection piece alone is the value. Because sometimes we're so close and ingrained in our own businesses that we don't stop to see and recognise how far we've come. And probably one of the biggest things I want people to take away from this episode is that you do not need to win awards to benefit from the awards process. In fact, if you use awards properly, visibility starts the moment you enter, the moment you say, I'm putting myself forward. And I encourage people that enter my awards to actually do that. I actually encourage them to say, I've nominated myself for an award. And you might think, ooh, that sounds cringy, but actually it's not. Only in my last awards, which we've just finished, only one person was nominated by somebody else. Every other person nominated themselves, and it's okay, because that's what people do. So if you're sitting there, sitting back thinking, oh, I'll wait for somebody to nominate me one day, it doesn't happen. And some awards do that as a list building exercise. I don't. They actually say, well, nominate everybody you know and we'll send them a form to nominate themselves. That's a double nomination, if you ask me. You're basically saying, people, fill my list with people so I can tell them they've been nominated. When you get nominated in my awards, you have definitely been nominated, and you get a copy of the nomination form with whatever anybody's said about you. But it's few and far between. I think in the last 2 years, we've had 2 people nominated by somebody else, and one of those was somebody's husband. So if you're sitting around waiting, as I say, you'll be waiting a long time. I want you to nominate yourself for awards, because nobody knows your story better than you. And the moment you say, I'm putting myself forward, I'm putting my hat in the ring, that's the visibility part. Then if you become a finalist, that visibility becomes a huge visibility asset. And even if you don't, there's still a way to still maximise that visibility on the journey. This episode is sponsored by Sam Ballington of the Association of Child and Family Coaches. Sam believes that lived experience matters. When combined with safe, ethical, accredited training, it can become a powerful force for change. Her work is focused on breaking intergenerational cycles of trauma by helping people transform their own experiences into professional practice that supports children, families, and communities. Sam also stands firmly against cheap, unsafe, unethical instant expert training that puts vulnerable people at risk. Real impact requires depth, accountability, supervision, and recognised standards. If you're ready to train with integrity, build a meaningful career, or learn more about this movement, visit www.childandfamilycoaching.org. So you can add your proud to be nominated logos or your finalist logos to your website, to your email footers. You can update your bio. You can use it in speaker introductions. You can add it onto LinkedIn. You can include it in proposals. You can include it when you're entering other awards. Mention it on podcasts. Use it in media opportunities. It becomes part of your positioning. And the key thing here is that most people never put themselves forward at all. So you're already one step ahead of everybody else. And when you do, you immediately stand out. I want to talk a little bit about the part that people massively underestimate, being in the room itself. Awards events are full of opportunities, and mine deliberately happen during the day. They are a business event, and I want everybody who attends to get business from it. And that's probably why 60% of my room are people that haven't even entered the awards. They come along because they know it's a business event. And I don't just mean the opportunities to win, I mean the opportunity to connect. Because my rooms in particular are full of business owners, full of sponsors, speakers, collaborators, PR people, event organisers, decision makers, potential clients, referral partners, your new best friends. Some of the biggest business opportunities happen during those conversations on the day. Not on stage, not online, but in the conversations that I make sure that everybody has the space to have. So that's why I include so many networking breaks. I've seen collaborations formed, podcast invitations happen, speaking opportunities created, sponsorship deals secured, clients signed, friendships built, confidence transformed simply because somebody showed up and started talking to people. Visibility creates an energetic force, and I keep saying about the energy in the room. So many people came up to me after the awards recently and said, I just love the vibe in this room. It's just a fantastic community. And that's why my awards happen in the day. People remember how you make them feel. People remember those conversations. People remember presence. And that's why I always say, if you're going to bother entering awards, make sure you're in the room. Now, I need to say this because people listening need to hear it. And if you're listening to this, tell somebody else about it too. Please stop downplaying your achievements. I hear it all the time. Oh, I was only a finalist. Oh, I didn't get to be a finalist. Oh, it was just a local award. Or other awards, not mine. I only won a small category. Or it's not that important. It is. Just being in that room is important. And lots of people don't shout about things, or they only just shout about them once. Awards are not about ego, they're about evidence that you are credible, you are committed, you're making an impact, you're creating results, and you're visible in your industry. And if you don't communicate your achievements, people won't see your value. And that's not arrogance, it's positioning. And think about it, if you've entered awards, and I'm going to talk about mine in particular because mine have credibility, they're very ethical, they're very transparent. When you enter my awards, you don't go through one judging process, you go through two independent judging processes, the shortlisting and then finalist interviews. My judges are hand selected. You can't pay to judge my awards. They're totally independent to avoid potential conflict. My judges, but many of them have been judging for years. A lot of them have been through the process themselves. You've been independently judged by business people. Now that makes them credible in itself. None of this filling in a form and it just going off into the ether, that you are properly judged. And I think some people underestimate that. So let me give you 5 practical ways to actually leverage awards strategically. Number 1, share the journey, not just the outcome. And I tell my awards entrants this all the time. Once you enter, you get weekly emails from me sharing how you can maximise the journey. They don't disappear until the awards night. Talk about why you entered, what entering means to you, what the process has taught you, the emotions behind it, the lessons learned along the way. People connect to those stories. 2, build awards into your visibility assets. Awards should appear in your website, on your speaker bio, your LinkedIn profile, in your media kit, your email signature, your podcast intro, your proposals. Not because you're bragging, because the credibility matters. It's a credibility piece. Number 3, network intentionally. Do not sit quietly waiting for the awards day and the ceremony to start. If you're in the room, introduce yourself to other finalists before. I create opportunities for my finalists to come together. We have an awards finalist interview workshop, and I encourage people to come to that so they can see who the other finalists are. Start conversations, ask questions, connect genuinely. The room is often more valuable than the trophy and those connections you make. Number 4, use awards for your content. Most people post one photo and move on, or they put their proud to be nominated logo or finalist logo out there once and that's it. But awards create social content, newsletter content, podcast topics, behind the scenes stories, lessons you've learned, reflections about the process, and authority positioning. Awards can give you weeks, if not months, of visibility content. Number 5, let recognition build confidence. Sometimes external recognition can help people finally see themselves different. If somebody else says to you, "Oh, you've done well," you're more likely to believe it than actually shouting your own successes. And that changes everything. So actually saying you are a finalist, that's somebody else reinforcing and giving you that credibility. It changes how you show up, how you speak, how you sell, and how visible you become. Awards can be the catalyst that helps you stop hiding. And speaking of awards, I'm so excited because how has it come round so quickly? The Woman Who Solopreneur Awards officially open for entries on the 1st of June. Now, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, it's in a couple of days' time. If you're listening to this a bit later, put the 1st of June in your diary. They are only open for entry for 6 weeks. And they close at midnight on the 13th of July. And the deadline is final. We never have any extensions at all. Now, if you're a solopreneur, and a solopreneur is a sole director or sole trader, you are not in partnership If you can have a limited company, but there are no co-directors, not even non-execs, you are a sole director of your business. And we do check this. If you're a solopreneur, you are a sole trader, as I say, a sole director. You can employ people and you can work with freelancers and associates, but you are the sole decision maker in your business, because it's tough doing it alone. And that's why I want to recognize solopreneurs and how extraordinary they are. You're often the marketing department, the finance department, the sales team, the customer service department, the strategist, the visionary, the IT person, the person that keeps all the cogs moving. And that deserves recognition. It's lonely sometimes making those decisions on your own, and I want to bring solopreneurs together. So the Solopreneur Awards are about celebrating the incredible women building businesses with resilience, creativity, passion and impact. And beyond the awards themselves, they're also about visibility. They're about stepping forward, owning your story, recognising your achievements and allowing yourself to be seen. Because I know that there are people listening to this right now have been sitting on the sidelines maybe thinking, maybe one day I'll enter next year. Well, I'm not too sure whether the Solopreneur Awards will exist in their current format next year at all, and I'll come on to that in a minute. So maybe this is your sign that you need to enter this year. Whether you become a finalist, a winner, or simply go through the process of entering, it can genuinely shift how you see yourself in business. And trust me, that shift changes how other people see you too. So if you've missed it, alongside of the launch of the awards, there's another incredibly exciting chapter happening behind the scenes at Woman Who. The expansion of the Woman Who brand through franchising. Yes, at the last awards event, I gave my big announcement that Woman Who is about to be franchised, and I'm currently in some fantastic conversations with potential franchisees. This is something I've reflected on deeply after over a decade of building communities, creating events, championing women in business, and creating spaces where people feel seen, heard and celebrated. Because what started as a one-off event back in 2016, one room, one idea, has become something so much bigger. And now for the first time, there will be opportunities for women across the UK to become part of that growth through the Woman Who franchise opportunity. And this is not just about running events, it's about creating impact. It's about building communities in your local area, leading conversations, championing others, creating opportunities, and becoming extremely visible yourself in the process. I know that there are so many women who want more than just a business opportunity. They want purpose, connection, impact, community, and meaningful visibility. And honestly, that's what Woman Who has always been about. So over the coming months, I'll be sharing more information about the franchise journey, what it looks like, who it's for, and how we're expanding the Woman Who movement throughout the UK, and who knows, maybe even beyond. And if you've ever looked at what I've built and thought, I would love to create something like that in my area, this is the opportunity, and maybe this is the conversation you've been waiting for. So one of the most emotional things for me at awards events is not actually announcing the winners. It's watching people realise I belong in this room. That moment really matters to me, and I can see it, I can feel it. I've watched women walk into awards events feeling nervous, doubting themselves, questioning whether they should even be there, and leave standing so much taller and more confident, more visible, more connected, more certain of their value. I've seen women, as a result of being in that room, raise their prices, launch businesses, secure speaking opportunities, start podcasts, gain media coverage, grow communities, and finally own their own expertise. And sometimes all it took was that one moment of recognition, one moment where somebody saw them. Visibility changes people. And not because it feeds ego, not because it validates impact, but because when people feel seen, heard and celebrated, they stop hiding. So what's my mic drop moment for this week? I think it's that your visibility grows the moment you stop treating awards as just the trophy and start treating them as a platform to growth and visibility, because they're not just about being celebrated, they're about being remembered for all the right reasons. So thank you for listening to this episode of Mic Drop Moments and indulging me in talking all about my passion project, which is Everything Awards. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd absolutely love for you to share it on social media and tag me in, and I'll share that. And if you've been hiding or downplaying your own achievements or waiting until you feel ready, consider this episode to be your reminder that your story matters, your business matters, your impact matters, and people need to see it. So until next time, I'll be back again next week with another episode. And if you do want to chat about a franchise opportunity and becoming a part of the Woman Who family and movement, then just reach out and we can jump on a call. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Mic Drop Moments podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me next week for more inspiration, learning and top tips. Want to work with me on your business growth and strategy, speaking or simply growing your audience? Just get in touch. Visit womanwho.co.uk to find out how you can start your speaking and visibility journey or even feature on a future podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's podcast. And if there are any topics you would like to hear, just get in touch with me, your host, Sandra Garlick.